It's been 24 years. I can't believe we have a new Gladiator movie, the sequel to the original. Let's review Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2 stars Paul Mescal, Connie Nielsen, Pedro Pascal, and is directed by Ridley Scott.
Empires fall, so do emperors.
This is war! Real war!
What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2024 review. We are deep into November. We're getting close to the end of the year. We are going to give you a spoiler-free review for Gladiator 2. Little backstory on me and Gladiator. I saw it twice in the theater when it came out. It's one of my all-time favorite films. I love this movie dearly to death. I think Russell Crowe as Maximus is one of my favorite characters of all time. Man, he owned that freaking movie. And it's a tall order to even make a sequel to it and to try to at least be as good as it. And is this movie as good as the original? Of course not, but is it still really good? Yeah, I think it's maybe even great. And I actually got the popcorn bucket back there. You can see a close-up look at it in the out-of-theater reaction. But if you're from the out-of-theater reaction, thank you for stopping by. Going forward, I've been dedicating my latest reviews to my decapitation tier patrons, and this one will be dedicated to Rockland Graves Productions, whose channel is kicking major ass in his own right. So definitely check out Rockland Graves Productions if you haven't. Great stuff over there. Also, be sure to check out the Patron page. I'm going to be live streaming with my patrons this Thursday afternoon. If you check out the Patron page, you can find out more on that, and I'm sure I'll post it on my socials somewhere. So anyway, let's get into this review. Let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Technically, this takes place, I think, 15 or 16 years after the original movie. I think it's just so it can be age appropriate. If you remember, at the end of the last movie, everything looked like it was going to be, hunky-dory for Lucilla and her son, Lucian. But in this movie, you find out what happens after the events of that movie. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to be very careful about what I say to you, even plot-wise, because that's part of the fun of going into this movie, is discovering where the story takes you 24 years later. Okay, so I'm not going to really tell you anything. I don't think you want to know anything. You just know that Lucian is in this movie. And this is more of a character that is very angry. There's a lot of rage in him, and he's a very talented fighter. I think story-wise, that's all I'm going to tell you. There are some very eccentric characters. There's these brothers that are the emperors of Rome, played by Joseph Quinn and Fred Heschinger. These are your extremely eccentric characters in any Ridley Scott movie. He always has very interesting characters in his movie, and they're not going to align with everyone's likes and dislikes. That's what I love about Ridley Scott's movies. And do I love every Ridley Scott movie? No, but I do like most of them. And really the controversial ones like Prometheus and Covenant. I know those movies are very divisive, especially Covenant. I think most people don't like Covenant. I love it just because Ridley Scott, I think he's very brave and very adventurous with his storytelling. And this movie is no different. And I think this movie will maybe cause some people to not like it as much. All right. I could be wrong, but I loved it. I loved how eccentric a lot of the characters were. But he still puts the story front and center, about Lucian and his, journey throughout this. Also, Pedro Pascal, very important character. He plays a general. Kind of compare him to what Maximus was at the beginning of the original Gladiator. And that's all I'm going to tell you about his character. Talking a little bit about Paul Mescal. He's a very up-and-coming actor. Check out Normal People. He's excellent in that. After Sun, my God, his performance in that movie was amazing. I understand why they went with him. He is the hot, young, up-and-comer. And, of course, he's going to put butts in seats. Spencer Treat Clark, who played Lucian in the original movie, man, it did break my heart a little bit that he didn't get to come back as Lucian, because he's still a working actor. He's been in a lot of recent movies. He was in Glass. He returned in that movie. And I'm a big fan of continuity in movies, and as long as there's no like issues behind the scenes, why not let them come back? So it did break my heart a little bit that he's not in this movie playing Lucian. I think he deserves that. And unfortunately, politics of Hollywood forced him out of the movie. But having said that, Paul Mescal is phenomenal in this. And boy, does he have a great voice. You know, he just has, I think with a character like this, leading an army of people, you want him to have a very commanding voice like Russell Crowe did in the first movie. And boy, does he. He has a very commanding voice, and he is a perfect leading man for this movie. Speaking on the action and the violence, yeah, there's definitely some blood in this movie. It gets really graphic. A few of the Gladiator battle scenes, some surprises in there too, especially in terms of like the animals that come in. I'll just say there is a scene with some baboons that is pretty damn gnarly. Danzel freaking Washington. He was the question mark just going from the trailers of the movie. I was a little worried because everybody remembers Danzel from Training Day. Of course, I mean, the guy's freaking resume is just insane. Yeah, Oscar-winning actor. He's amazing, okay? He's amazing in this. Leave your worries at the door, all right? Because Danzel Washington, he's a great character in this, and he's definitely one that keeps you guessing. Really chews up the scenery, and your eyes are always on him. I'll just say that. The runtime is 2.5 hours. I didn't feel it. I was never freaking bored once. I would even say, pacing-wise, this might be even better paced than the original movie. And the original movie is pretty much perfection. But in terms of just like maybe having dry spots in a movie, this movie has absolutely zero dry spots, and it just flies right by. If you're a fan of the story and the characters from the original movie, I honestly think you're going to love this. It doesn't try to copy the original movie. It's its own story. Sure, there's going to be similarities. It carves its own path, and I love that about it. Going into the cons a little bit, I think there are some action set pieces in here that might have you scratching your head. You might even say, oh my God, I can't believe they're going this direction. It is interesting. And when this scene happened, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. Like, okay, they're going this route. That's kind of interesting. Was it entertaining though? Yeah, I think it was definitely entertaining. And I'm not going to tell you what it was. But as soon as you see this movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll give you a slight hint. It made me think of Dr. Evil. That's all I'm going to say. So overall, guys, this, I think, is a super high purchase worthy. Loved the hell out of it. And I'm so curious what you guys think. I want to get into the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some really interesting discussions in there. Like I said, this movie might be divisive. I'm not sure yet. I'm really curious to see which way it goes. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of Gladiator 2. When you get a chance to see it. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow me, Drumdums, on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.